people on the product. And I think for us, we've had some really good retailers. We were just talking about one today that came on with us, Owl's Nest Barbecue. He's awesome, but he sold a lot of product, but he's passionate about it. Yep. He talks about it. He educates his people, his staff, everybody on it.
This is Steve Ray at Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ottawa. If it's good enough for Malcolm Reed, it's good enough for us. Blue Plate Mayonnaise. No matter if you can see 7 states from high above, Lookout Mountain, into the valley and the hills of the great Smoky Mountains, know that you are in pit barrel country. You know, once you've done all your homework and you get all the pieces put together, one thing's perfectly clear. The pit barrel cooker is the cooker that you should be using to make the best barbecue that you can. Affordable, easy to use, exceptional quality. The pit barrel cooker, it just works. Get your pit barrel cooker at Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ottawa, Tennessee. All right, welcome everybody. Monday night, that can mean only one thing. It's the Owl's Nest Barbecue Catch-Up Show. I'm Steve. That guy over there across from me is Pete. And we're happy to be with you tonight on a cool post-snow Monday.
Steve, what about the last 3 or 4 days we've had, huh?
It's been awful.
Man, snow, cold, nobody able to get out for a few days, but
3 days. We missed 3 days of business. It's horrible.
So Steve, in 41 years, right? The place you have 41 years, how many times have you been closed for 3 days?
Oh gosh. I'd say probably 3 times for 3 days. In 93, we were closed from Friday afternoon on March 15th. And then we didn't open up again till the next Thursday morning.
That was the big snow.
The blizzard of 93.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that all night long, but we're not going to bore you with that because we've got a great show lined up for you. We've got Jeff Dalton from Burlington, North Carolina with us. And Pete, this show's for you.
Man,
I'm doing this just for you.
I'm excited, right? I'm excited.
We're going to be talking sausage.
Yeah, and you know how I am about sausage.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, man.
So I definitely look forward to having a conversation with Jeff and asking some questions and trying to educate myself a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna be bringing Jeff on in just a second. I want to remind everybody, coming up February the 1st, we've got the big chili contest at Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ottawa. We've got a field of 12, a judging panel of 5, and we are going to have a big time. There's all the guys. There's Billy up there, Billy Holland, David Roberts, Jason Clark, the defending champion. I got a memo from Jason this week. He's like Joe DiMaggio. Every time you introduce him, you have to say the world's greatest living chili cook, Jason Clark. You know, did you know Joe DiMaggio had that in his contract when he made appearances? You had to refer to him as the greatest living baseball player, Joe DiMaggio. Well, Jason has taken up that moniker. Mark Ellis, Michael Williams, Pat Harrington. There's Mike Shadwick, Perry Collins, Rondell Thacker, Sean Cosby, Jason Penley, and Jeff Maxwell. They will all be with us that Saturday doing barbecue. We'll have judging, and we'll have people's choice. And that's going to be a lot of fun. The People's Choice. That's going to be a good
Oh,
time.
it is. And you know, we've been in a few of those people choices, and I'll tell you, I love to that's getting everybody involved, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets to get out there, taste it, try it, and give some input. I love that.
So they'll be judged first, and we'll take them outside, and we'll do People's Choice. And there'll be a winner on People's Choice too. So a big time will be had by all on February the 1st at Al's Nest Barbecue Supply. Plenty of parking. Don't. I had somebody ask me, where's everybody going to park? The shop is closed on Saturdays, everybody. The gas station shop is closed. So the whole gas station is, guess what? A parking lot.
Steve,
The whole thing's a parking lot.
I don't know how many times you tell people, but you own the street right beside it.
Yeah, yeah.
Park on the street. I mean, there's plenty of parking all the way there.
Park on the street.
You know,
those empty lots behind us, park there. So there's plenty of parking. Don't even. If somebody says there's no place to park, say, bull. There is a place to park. There's plenty of places to park. You just got to know what you're doing. And that's what you got to do. You got to park. You got to park where I tell you to park. Steve Davidson checking in. Jeff Maxwell checked in with us. Brent Hilliard. Brent, we're going to talk about your over the top chili in just a little bit. But first, we're going to bring on with us all the way from Burlington, North Carolina, where they make the best socks and coats in the nation. Jeff Dalton. Jeff, how are you, sir?
Hey, Jeff.
Doing good, fellas. How are y'all doing tonight?
Jeff Dalton of Holy Smokes Barbecue in Burlington, North Carolina. I guess, Pete and Jeff, I guess you can say we stumbled across each other through the internet and our Facebook pages. And Jeff, Pete said something. How long ago was that, babe?
Probably 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's longer than that.
Has it been?
Yeah. He said, I want to learn how to do some sausage. And I told him, I said, I thought I wanted to do some sausage too, until I went somewhere and saw them make sausage, and they were there for it all day because the cleanup on making sausage is quite impressive. Have you found that in your sausage making journey so far?
Oh yeah. You better like doing dishes if you're going to make sausage, because you've got a lot of equipment, parts and pieces has got to be clean. That's for sure.
So what, Jeff, what got you interested in sausage?
Just in general, learning how to barbecue and cook barbecue, and then going to different restaurants and trying different types of sausage, and watching, numerous YouTube videos on, sausage making and how to make sausage. So it's just something I've always enjoyed, trying to do something new, something I've never done before. And I really want to excel at it, and I keep the phrase I kept hearing was sausage making is an art. And I was like, well, that sounds like something I'd like to get into and kind of learn how to do.
How long have you been barbecuing?
Probably about 5 or 6 years. Not a really long time. My wife and kids gave me a little small offset smoker for Christmas about 6 years ago, and that just started it up right there. I started playing with that, and the next thing you know, I done bought about 6 different smokers.
You got the fever, Pete.
Hey, I
Yes, sir.
get it. Steve will tell you now. I get my best sausage that I like, and it's fresh kielbasa, fresh different kinds of sausage. But I get it in Michigan, and used to get it there my whole life. And I still go every year, and I load up and bring it back. And Steve and I enjoy it all the time eating. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring some tomorrow, Steve, to eat, cook up. But
Yeah.
I love sausage. As a matter of fact, not just sausage, smoked sausage, but I like breakfast sausage. And Steve and I've found a place that it's a Vidalia onion and cheese sausage that's fantastic. So sausage, I'm interested. I'd like to get into doing what you're doing as well.
Yeah, it's hard to beat, like you said, either a good breakfast sausage or a smoked sausage, or even a fresh cased sausage like a brat or something like that. I definitely agree with you.
All right, we're gonna get started. We're gonna go down this sausage rabbit hole, but we're gonna start right here. What in the world is that, Jeff?
That is a blue catfish out of the James River up in Hopewell, Virginia.
Uh-huh. Well, and is this like is that your real hobby? Is going after these dinosaur aged catfish?
I used to really, really be a huge fishing enthusiast. I love fishing. If I had a spare minute, I was on the water. And but then, wife and kids come along and take up a little bit of your free time. And now I've decided barbecuing, and it's a little bit easier and less stressful. So kind of took up
You can
that
do it at
since
home.
then.
Well,
That's right.
You can do that. You can do that at home too, right?
That's right.
There's somebody that might know you right there, Sharon Dalton. I bet she's related to you somewhere.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Thanks for watching, Sharon. We appreciate it. You're watching Steve and Pete with Jeff Dalton from Burlington, North Carolina. His backyard team name, Holy Smokes Barbecue, and we're going to be talking a little bit about sausage. All right, let's see. Let's go. We're going to start out, Jeff and Pete. Pete, and I want you to, since you're so interested in this, I want you to start out with the questioning. And in my first question, if I were you, Pete, I'd say, what is that?
Well, I tell you, that's like I would call it a stuffer. I don't know the exact terms for it, but that's what's stuffing. Once you grind it and stuff, I would think you fill that up, and then that's what you're forcing down and forcing into its. I don't know what the proper term is for it, but the skin or whatever it's going in.
Yeah.
Fill us in, Jeff.
Yep. So that's a 5-pound sausage stuffer from Meat Your Maker. That thing works great. It's got a piston that slides down into the cylinder there that you fill with your meat mixture, and you got a little crank handle and the horn that's there on the bottom where you put your casing on it. You take your casing and after you've soaked it in some warm water for a while and got all the salt and stuff off of the casing, you slide that on there, and then that makes it way easier to stuff it. Most grinders these days come with a stuffing horn, but you kind of lose a little bit of kind of that fine tuning and being able to fill the casing to the proper amount when you're stuffing your meat into that grinder and you've got that electric motor pushing it through. Being able to use the sausage stuffer there, you can kind of control it a little bit easier. It definitely makes it easier to stuff your casings. And
so you're stuffing it cold. You want it cold when you're doing it?
Yep. You can kind of see the condensation there on the canister. You want everything to be just about as cold as you can possibly have it. The key with making good sausage is you do not want the fat to smear or get too warm during the entire process, because that'll make a dry, crumbly sausage. You want that fat to stay inside your sausage as much as possible until you're ready to eat it.
So how long is that casing you got on there?
They kind of different lengths. They range anywhere from 2 to 3 feet long. I think we had a couple that was about 8 or 9 feet long. And so what I did is just soaked them overnight. I had kind of got some tips and stuff off of YouTube videos where it said if you'll clear it out with some warm water, soak out all the salt, because those casings are packed in salt, and then soak it overnight in just a small little amount of baking soda in your water. And what that baking soda does is it alkalinizes your water, and it makes the casing a little softer and a little more stretchy, so you're much less likely to have a blowout or burst the casing while you're trying to stuff it. And it makes it kind of slick, so it makes it easier for the casing to slide off the horn while you're stuffing your sausage.
Okay.
So there we go. Now tell us about this.
So that right there is, my beef and pork mixture. The sausage that, you had some pictures and stuff that I posted on your community. That was a beef and pork cheddar jalapeno sausage. Mm-hmm. And that's about a 60% beef and 40% pork. And the beef is actually some beef trimmings from a few briskets that I had cooked. I just saved my trimmings and stuff. And then the pork, you can kind of see in the right there as part of a pork butt. I had just cut, some of the pork off of it. And ultimately what I try to do is I weigh out my lean and my fat to try to get about a 25 to 30% fat ratio to go with the lean. And what I do is when I'm trimming my briskets and I have some brisket trim left, I just go ahead and do that right then and there. And then I'll put the trimmings in there and vacuum seal it together so that I don't have to, worry about trying to weigh it out later. I already know that mixture in the freezer is already beef and it's already fat and lean to be perfect.
Pete.
So, hey, so when you cut that up, you had your mixture there, then you're running that through a grinder.
Yes.
And then, so what I'm interested in is you talked about this. So there's your cheese, all of that. So when you're putting it in the grinder, you grind it up. Do you add your cheese and stuff afterwards, and then mix it all up, blend it, jalapeno, whatever you're putting in there?
So what I like to do is I throw the meat and and I'll kind of throw in a couple of jalapenos in there as I'm grinding the meat, but I don't put the cheese in yet. That cheese right there is a high temp cheddar cheese. You can buy it at like Amazon. It's already cubed up for you. And if you run the cheese through the grinder, it's going to mash it all up. I like to see that kind of studded, like little cheese cubes inside the sausage. Right. So, and you can see the condensation, like I said, on the grinder head, because all that stuff had been in the freezer for a few hours before I ever start the process. You want your meat kind of around 32 to 34 degrees before you start grinding it. Again, like I said, you just want everything to be nice and as cold as possible. It's partially frozen in a way. And so I just, throw a couple chunks of pork, a couple chunks of beef, and then a couple, jalapenos in there and just kind of alternate it all until I got it all ground through.
Is that where you put the meat, Jeff, into that pan on top of that grinder? Is that the way that works?
Yep. You got a little hopper up there that you can kind of put the meat and everything in it. And there's a throat, that vertical piece that you can see there. The meat goes down into that, and you've got a corkscrew that goes inside the grinder head with a knife that, like a blade. And then you can get different size dies. So if you look at the end of that grinder head there, you can kind of see that's my coarsest die that I have. That's a 10 millimeter plate. And that does a nice coarse sausage. If I'm doing something like a breakfast sausage, I don't want to be terribly coarse. I've got another plate that's like a 6 millimeter plate that I'll run through it. So it's not quite as coarse. But making that smoked sausage, I do like it to have a little bit of a coarser texture to it.
You do it like a certain amount, when you're doing it, I'm going to do 20 pounds or I'm going to do this or whatever.
Typically, like what I did the other day, I weighed out. I just got a bunch of brisket trimmings out of the freezer, and never would it weighed out to be. That's what I ended up doing. That was about 8.5 pounds right there.
So that is that the end plate is one size sausage. Do you ever run it through that plate, Jeff, and then switch the plates and run it through again?
Yes. Yeah. If I'm going with a finer textured sausage, I will run it through the coarse plate the first time and then run it through the finer plate the second time. I think you can just run it through the finer plate to start with, but to me, I'd rather just, kind of step down as you're doing it just to make it a little, that way your grinder's not working so hard.
Here's tell us about this shot.
Okay, so here, after grinding my meat mixture, and you can see in that tub there that I've already added the seasoning, the spices, and everything in it, and I've added my high temp cheddar cheese, and I've mixed that all. And you want to mix it for anywhere like 5 to 10 minutes because you want to build a bind on that meat. You want it to be really, really sticky so that it will stick in together, and kind of form that nice snappy sausage.
Mhm.
And what you're doing is you're extracting the protein out of that meat as you're mixing it. I also put a binder in there with the seasoning. Use a like a dry milk powder. That also helps to add a little bit of protein to it, so that the sausage will kind of stick together and be more of a cohesive piece rather than a real dry, crumbly sausage. And so after I've mixed all that together, I was getting ready to stuff that meat mixture into the sausage stuffer right there.
Mm-hmm. So that was going into
That little,
That
that little canister.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
And then that does that, when you put that canister on that press, does that black handle turn?
Looks like a crank.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yep.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the corkscrew at the top.
Yeah.
So as you turn that thing, as like a worm gear in there, and it lowers that piston down to put like a slow, steady pressure to push the meat mixture out of the horn there as you fill your sausage casing.
And then, after it goes through the little sausage stuffer, I guess that looks like that.
Yep. If after many attempts of making sure you don't mess it up, that's what you can kind of get to. As you can see, kind of about 11 o'clock position there, I had a blowout in that particular, length of sausage casing where the sausage stuffing came out.
Uh-huh.
And but that's not the end of the world. If you blow it out and you bust your casing, you can just kind of get the meat mixture out of the case, and you can put it right back in the sausage stuffer and tie you a knot in the casing right there, and you're good to go.
Makes it, yeah. What makes it blow out?
If you think about it, you're dealing with a natural product. I use like all natural hog casings. I guess they go through some type of there's going to be some type of manufacturing process there. As packers or whatever get those out, they get holes in them. They'll get little microscopic holes in it. And sometimes they blow out because the sausage maker don't know what he's doing, and he just overstuffs it. Yeah. That's me too.
Starting and learning this process, you blow out quite a bit of, I would guess, till you get that feel of where you need to be.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Now, how do we get? Is that after you've spun that thing? Yeah, I see those
Yes.
guys. Pete, you've seen those.
Where they twist them around. Yeah.
So is that what that is?
Yeah, I'm not too good at that. But I can make my way through it and learn. So once you've kind of stuffed all your case, and then you want to link it up.
Yeah,
And,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's where you can really get that sausage like really nice and tight and stuffed in there good. Because the more you twist that casing, the tighter that sausage is going to get. If you're not careful, you can bust the casing as you're twisting it. I have done that before too.
You put it a while before you twist it, or is it immediate when you're done? Or
just as soon as I was done casing up that sausage, I went ahead and twisted it up into my links. And then you can see in that picture that it's sitting on a like a cooling rack on a baking tray. Once I got to that point, I put it in the refrigerator overnight, and that kind of does a couple different things. One is that allows your spices and everything to kind of mix with the meat mixture. These sausages were cured, so they have pink curing salt in them. So you have to give it time for that pink curing salt to do its job as well. And then the third thing is it does. All right.
You put the pink curing salt in with the meat?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And you mixed it up real good?
Yes. So I basically, when I make my spice mixture, I do all my salt and pepper and, garlic powder and paprika and everything. Yeah. I'll go ahead and put my pink curing salt in there as well. And what that does is when you're cold smoking these sausages, you don't want to take a chance of botulism or getting anybody sick or anything. So that pink curing salt allows you to cold smoke those sausages and not have to worry about the meat spoiling. And
now, when you cold smoke sausage, I'm not Pete, do you know what cold smoking is? I don't know
Well,
I don't really know what cold smoking is.
So I've cold smoked on my pellet grill, and that's just not having the grill on and using the smoke tube. Is my, it's like I cold smoke cheese and stuff like that.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how I do it. You're smoking it, but you got no heat in there on it at all. At least that's mine.
Exactly.
Is that what you're
So
doing?
technically, cold smoking is anything 90 degrees or lower with
Mhm.
smoke. So, you people, like you said, talk about smoking cheese and stuff. It's very difficult to smoke cheese in the middle of the summertime because it's going to be more than 90 degrees inside that smoker, even
Yeah.
if you don't have the heat going. So, but,
And
a lot of the.
Jeff, what does that do? Is that like a preliminary step before you actually smoke it or cook it?
Yes, yeah, and
Okay.
it's just adding that smoke flavor into it. I'll be honest with you, that batch of sausage right there, I think I cold smoked it a little bit too long because it got a pretty it got very smoky flavor to it. Probably a little bit more than I wanted to. If I had to do that over again, I'd probably cold smoke it a little bit less before I added some heat to it.
So how long do you normally cold smoke it sausage for?
So that right there, I cold smoked it for 2 hours, and I just used, like you were talking about, I just used a pellet tube. One of the pellet tubes you can buy.
Yeah.
You just throw the
Yeah.
pellets in it and light it up,
Yeah,
and
that's what I
then
do.
and then once I cold smoked it, I built a small fire in my smoker and got the temperature up to about 150 degrees, and just left it at that temperature for about 4 hours. If I was doing it again, I'd probably, cut back on the actual cold smoking part a little bit and maybe just go with that 150-degree temperature for a few hours.
I usually cold smoke cheese and stuff when I cold smoke about an hour and a half.
Yeah. I think it'd probably been better if I'd have stuck with about an hour on it.
I just buy it smoked at Publix.
There you go.
The cheese, smoked cheese. I'll tell you my funny smoked cheese story after we get off the air. It's one of our accomplices.
So wait, I got another question about cold smoking.
Yeah.
What are you cold smoking it on? What are you using? Because I know I can't cold smoke. My pellet smoker won't set it. 150 is as low as it'll go.
Yeah. So those sausages I smoked, I have a Kamado Joe, Big Joe.
Mhm.
And I can just build a very small charcoal fire in it and just throw a big hickory split on top of that small charcoal fire. And I use a ThermoWorks Billows heat control fan to just kind of barely push a little bit of air through there. And that does a really good job at holding that temperature at about 140 to 150 degrees.
And you smoke it at that?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
After he cold smokes it, right?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
now
Exactly.
is that to finish it, Jeff?
Yes. So basically,
okay.
at that point, what I'm doing is I'm smoking the sausage until it gets up to about 155 degrees internal.
Mhm.
So I'll just take a probe and put it in one of the sausages and just let it go until you kind of get up to that safe temp. Keeping
Now,
in
is
mind,
it
there
safe
is
to eat
pork.
in?
Yes. Yep. Because
Okay.
there's pork in there, and
Mhm.
the what is it, the USDA or whatever recommends that you cook pork to 165, but I think now they're saying you can do it 140, 145 or so. So
Yeah.
I usually take it up to about 150.
Now, when we do sausage, Pete and I do, we put it in the we'll like grill it on the smoker. We'll set the temperature up to about 415, and we'll on the Green Mountain, and we'll grill it. We'll grill that sausage that you bring. Do you do that with that?
Yes.
After you've done that?
Yeah. So after you have essentially cold smoked your sausage, once it reaches that 155 temperature, you'll want to take that sausage and put it in an ice bath, and that will immediately stop the cooking process. That will help those casings shrink up real nice and tight onto your sausage that's inside the casing.
Yeah.
And then it stops the cooking process completely. And at that point, you can vacuum seal them. You can put them in the refrigerator overnight, whatever you want to do. And then
The vacuum seal king
Yeah,
over
I've,
there.
I
I
get
mean,
mine.
this has got all your all your hobbies. Cooking, sealing up with the vacuum sealer.
there you go.
Yeah, I vacuum seal everything. I
Yeah.
buy a lot of stuff, but the sausage I get is fresh. They make it while I'm there in the Polish community in Michigan that I go to, and then I bring it home. I keep it cold. It's all fresh, uncooked, and then I bring it home. And the cooking process, I freeze it just like it is, and that way when I cook it, I'm cooking it just like it was fresh,
Right.
thawed up, fresh, and ready to go.
Yep. So this sausage here, is fully cooked. Like if you go to the grocery store and you buy like a Hillshire Farm smoked sausage out of the, lunch meat case, that's fully cooked. You can eat it right then and there, but it is better if you'll throw it on the smoker and heat it up a little bit. And these are the same way. Once you've went through this entire process and you've got it all to that point, literally all you have to do then is just throw it on the smoker for about 30 minutes to get it back up to 160, 155, 160 or so, and then you've got a really good smoked sausage that you can do everything that you want to do with it as far as flavor profiles. I really want to do a cheddar jalapeno because I love spicy stuff.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten into it, I've got all different kinds of sausages I want to try. I want to try to make a buffalo chicken sausage. I wouldn't mind making like some Texas hot links or something like that and trying some of those out. I've got several different things I'd like to try.
Now with this machine, Jeff, where'd that thing go? Right there. Can you put different size? What are those things called?
The horn.
Casing. Yeah. Can you? Yeah, the different size. So you make those like little teeny links that you buy.
Yeah, so that particular model from Meet Your Maker comes with I think it's a 1 inch, a 3/4, and a 1/2 inch horn, which is the plastic piece on there. So depending on your casing that you're using, you'll want to match the horn size to that. So like a lot of like breakfast sausages and snack sticks and stuff like that are cased in sheet casings because they're smaller. They're like a 19 to 20 millimeter diameter, where those hog casings are like a 30 millimeter diameter. And then if you want to make like a summer sausage or something like that, where you buy like a big, I forgot what they call them. So you'll want to use the biggest horn for those casings. You just want to kind of match your horn up to whatever casing size you're using.
You can make summer sausage.
That's one of the things I definitely want to do.
Yeah, that's so as you walk down this path of sausageness, what is the favorite that you've made so far?
So that was the first sausage the first smoked sausage that I've made. Those pictures right there. And so I guess that's my favorite at this point. But I have made a lot of breakfast sausages. Because when I was younger, my grandparents, they killed hogs and they always made fresh breakfast sausage. And buying breakfast sausage in the grocery store, I can never find any that taste like what I used to get when I was a kid. So I really wanted to learn how to make breakfast sausage. So I started doing that several years ago. And I've got my technique and my recipe down pretty good, where I feel like I can make some pretty good breakfast sausage.
We buy that breakfast sausage. Is that the one? That's the one that comes from Georgia, isn't it? That your son picks up for us. It's got Vidalia onions in it,
cheese.
It's
amazing.
It's good, And we've got a place here in close to Chattanooga it's up on a little mountain called Sand Mountain. It's Dobbin's grocery store. It's a local grocery store, and they sell homemade sausage up there too. And there is such a big difference in the taste when you're buying it from a freshly made place to, say, the stuff we buy at Publix and Food City.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
we have a local manufacturer around here called Niece's Sausage, and I really really like that. And that's, all our local grocery stores carry that, but it's a North Carolina local brand, and that's about as good as I can buy at the grocery store.
Yeah, I load up on fresh kielbasa, fresh sausage, kind of like brats, but bigger. These are good size, and then Italian sausage. I love the
Yeah.
fresh Italian sausage, and I use it a lot of different ways. Sometimes I'll cut it out of the casing and use it and mix it in lasagna or mix it in spaghetti sauce and different stuff.
Right. Throw it on a pizza or whatever you
Yeah,
want to do.
It seems to me that this is the perfect time of year to be doing sausage because it is cold outside, and apparently
Right.
this stuff has got to stay cold. So, maybe setting up in the garage or
Mhm.
somewhere where it's cold would probably be a legitimate thing, Pete.
Yeah. So, do you know Ricer?
Yeah, I've seen his YouTube channel before.
So you've seen he does a lot of smoked sausage and a lot of sausage and stuff. I mean, a lot. And he looks like he's been doing it a while.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at it.
He makes those brats.
Yeah.
Have you made any brats yet?
I have not.
Are you going
I
to?
have not. Probably at some point or another. Yep.
Yeah. So what is more fun, doing barbecue or doing sausage? I mean, you're hooked up on the sausage stuff, Jeff. I mean, you seem like you've got the good stuff.
They I would say they kind of go hand in hand. When I was in college, I worked in the meat department at Winn-Dixie, and that's kind of, I learned how to cut meats and, use different types of meats and what they were used for. And I just kind of got that passion, when I was in college to just work with it and figure out different types of ways to prepare it and that kind of stuff. And here it is, 25 years later, I'm still enjoying trying different cuts of meats and figuring out different ways to make it and prepare it. And I love seeing the looks on my friends and family's faces when they say, "Man, that's the best thing I've ever eaten before." That's worth it right there. That's why I do it.
All right.
All your trimmings, no waste. Use your trimmings from all your different meats.
Yeah. So you buy a brisket and trim it up. You might have 3 or 4 pounds of trim. That
easy.
So I'm not throwing that away. I'm either going to make hamburger out of it or sausage or something. We don't ever buy hamburger around here.
All right, and Jeff, I can look over here at Pete, and I can tell you he's sitting on go about buying this stuff. And so tell me, let's give Pete a little list of what he needs to get into the sausage. The beginner to intermediate sausage maker
Very good
person.
So I mean, obviously,
what is a person called? Do you know what a person's called that makes sausage?
Hey, so I called all my engineers that used to work for me sausage makers. So I don't know. You're an engineer, right, Jeff? You're an engineer?
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you any more secrets about sausage making now.
You never heard them called sausage makers before?
No, I have not heard that one. That must be something people say when the engineers are not standing around.
Well, I work nuclear power, so
I got you.
My world is a little different.
Yeah. Pete's been pounded with nuclear waves, so he may not be with us longer. So we need much longer. We need to get him on the what's the list?
So obviously you need some kind of grinder. The grinder I have is a 1 horsepower LEM grinder. I had a small cheap grinder, that it just didn't cut it. I went ahead and invested in. I think that grinder was about $450. I would say go ahead and definitely get you a nice grinder, because you can use it for so many things. You can use it, like I said, to make hamburger, making sausage, and other things like that. So it's definitely a good investment.
Jeff, does it come with the little tray that sits on top there and the little?
Yes.
Okay, so it comes
with all that.
Okay,
it comes with everything there.
Right. I'm gonna write that down. $450. Right? What's next?
And then that sausage stuffer that I had got from Eat Your Maker, that was about $200. A Again, you can look on Amazon and you can find some cheaper, but I wanted something that was a little higher quality that I know I wouldn't have to worry about replacing. And I like Meet Your Maker products. They seem to be good high-end products for what
Now,
you pay for them.
is that on Amazon or is that on a website?
That's their website right there. Meet Your Maker. You can kind of see the meat right there. And
how much was that? How much was
I
that?
think that one was about $200. That's a 5-pound stuffer. They also sell a 15-pound stuffer if you really seriously want to get into it.
Pete, why mess around with that little one? Let's get a big one. All right, we're up to $650. Okay.
I would definitely say you need to have some digital kitchen scales. Because as you are learning how to do your spice mixtures, everything is, based on a percentage. Like if you weigh out your meat and you want to put your salt in it, you need to weigh out 2% of your salt. And it's easier to do that with scales rather than trying to obviously do it by volume. So I definitely would recommend having a nice little set of digital kitchen scales.
We got that. We're good there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else we need?
Honestly, other than your smoker, you can see, like I said, baking trays, cooling racks, to use like those cooling racks right there. You'll want a nice big tub. Also, you can kind of see in that picture to the left right there, that's a little that black handle. That's a sausage pricker. It's basically just like 3 little needles in it. As you do case it up, if you see a little air pocket or something in your sausage, you'll want to prick that sausage to get that air pocket out. But that's a $5 item off of Amazon, so that's not going to kill anybody.
A sausage pricker.
Yep.
It sounds like somebody you don't want hanging around you. Get out of here, you sausage pricker.
And then there's have a tub there that is something you can mix your sausage into as you get it and you're putting your spices in. I actually have several of those little I think they're bussing tubs actually.
We got about a dozen of those things.
Those work great. And that's about it. You don't really need
casings from.
So those casings came from the Sausage Maker. That's their online purveyor that sells everything you need to do sausage making. They sell seasonings and your casings and like I said, the dry milk powder. They sell those things like that. Everything you need. There's a lot of kits that you can just buy that has all your spices and everything already measured out for you, and they say, take this spice mixture and dump it in 20 pounds of meat and you're good to go. You don't have to weigh out anything.
I like that. That sounds up my aisle right there.
For me, it's like everything else. If I'm doing it big. I'm going to do 20, 30 pounds at a time. And that way I get it all done. And
dude, Pat, we'll have shark sausage before it's all over. I guarantee you.
And I like the idea of my wife would like that of the buffalo. Do some like buffalo chicken sausage.
Yeah,
she would love that. She loves buffalo chicken. So
Pete is always, every time he goes somewhere, he comes back with sausage. No matter where he goes, he's always it's like it's a obsession with him.
Yeah,
where's the best sausage in this neighborhood?
So like you, when I was a little kid growing up, this sausage that I get in Michigan is what I ate as a kid. The same family still owns it. Has been through generation. They make it the same. Nothing's changed, and it tastes just as good as it did, 50 some years ago.
Yeah, I think that sausage and barbecue in general, is a good way to spend time with your buddies and family and stuff. And like you said, teach them how to do those things and hand down that to your family and stuff like that, so that they can know how to do it. I would love one day for my sons to say, hey, my dad taught me how to do this, and now they're going to teach their sons how to do it, or something like that.
Have you got a chili game, Jeff?
I do like to make chili. I've never done a chili cook-off or anything like that. I usually just make it for us to eat here at the house.
Well, that's one of the things that barbecue guys seem to, in the wintertime, especially chili. Brunswick stew is another
Yeah.
good one. Sausage is a big popular one, obviously. Well,
Our,
this
our
is
church, we do about 750 quarts of Brunswick stew every year. We had some big
how many?
Brunswick stew, like 750 quarts.
Good grief!
No, I've
Yeah,
made a
that's
bunch of it in my time for my church and stuff, but I used a lot of venison in mine. I've got a freezer full of venison. I like to use my venison. Steve don't like venison, but he just ain't never ate it cooked right.
Yeah, that's why it's in the grocery store everywhere. Yeah, the venison on.
It's healthier for you.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. Well, don't get me started on venison. I had somebody brought me some chili one time and said, "Oh, by the way, it's made with venison." But I'm a little weird, Jeff. I got to have that USDA stamp on the side of that.
You
I
sound
want
like
that
my
animal.
wife. She's told me many times. She said, "Do not sneak anything that has deer meat in it on my plate. I do not want that."
I'm with that chick.
My kids grew up eating venison. They didn't even know what hamburger really was.
Yeah.
They ate their burger growing up.
Yeah, my tree stands in the frozen food section at the grocery store.
That's good.
Hey, Jeff, thank you so much. What an interesting thing. Sounds
Yes,
like people can get into this for about 800 bills.
Hey, I'm
I don't
gonna
think
get
it's
into it.
crazy. I don't think it's crazy.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Owl's Nest Barbecue is going to be doing some sausage down there. I guarantee you.
Oh, Jeff, well, you may have to drive over one Saturday morning.
I can handle that.
Yeah, we might. We'll put you up at the Hampton Inn right behind us, and we'll have a big time.
Sounds like a plan.
Jeff, thank you so much. You man, what a great young man you are, and interesting in the sausage stuff. And Megan Dalton, I'm with you,
Yeah,
Steve. It's right.
That's my wife right there.
Yeah, yeah. No deer meat. Who'd kill one of those things anyway?
I will make some deer sausage. Don't think I won't.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I made some venison bacon. My father-in-law gave me some deer sausage, and there was a recipe that I had got off of the Bearded Butchers on YouTube, where they basically took and made like a deer sausage and cured it and put it in pans and then smoked it. And then once you smoked it, then you could slice it just like bacon, and you could fry it up in a skillet. And I will admit, I did like that pretty good. I thought that was pretty tasty. But I did mix a lot of pork fat into it, so
Otherwise, it'll be too dry.
Yeah. The pork fat's what's good, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's not the deer meat.
Steve,
it's the pork
eat
fat.
Pork fat by the pound.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
eat pork
it-
fat.
I'll pour a lot of salt in it for you, Steve.
I've done a bunch of bacon in my life, and you know where that bacon came from? A pig.
You and I
Where
made
bacon comes from, the pig. It doesn't
Good
come from a
bacon.
deer.
we did
It
cured
doesn't come from a cow either.
cured and made some good bacon. I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, I'm a big believer in curing stuff. Turkey legs. I can get down with some curing. Jeff, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you,
Very
guys.
nice to meet you.
We're gonna let you go. I don't want to bore you with all of our buddies' pictures, but we'll have you back on again. And if you're ever on in Ottawa, if you come over, let's see, for you to get to Ottawa, you'd probably be easier for you to go down to Atlanta and then come up, or you can go across the mountains there on 1164.
Yeah.
And that's we're not that far. We're not that far from you.
But you're welcome to
We're
stay
probably
in
6
and-
hours.
and watch the pictures.
Yeah, you want to stay with us?
You're welcome.
Yeah, I
to
can
stay
stick around.
All right, let's do it. All right, here we go. Just want to remind everybody, February the 1st, we're having our big chili cook-off, our second ever chili cook-off at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply Store. Let me just real quick. Where are my guys at? Pete? Here we go. There they are right there. There's the Billy Holland, David Roberts, Jason Clark, Mark Ellis, Michael Williams, Pat Harrington, Jeff Maxwell, Jason Penley, Sean Cosby, Rondell Thacker, Perry Collins, and Mike Shadwick will be your cookers. And the guys that will be judging are these guys right here from Chatted Up Sports. Now, don't forget, they come on at 8 o'clock tonight on Chatted Up Sports on Facebook and on YouTube. They'll be live. They'll be doing their sports show tonight, and on Thursdays at 8 o'clock.
Thursdays, that's right.
And you can catch them. You can also catch Pit Life Barbecue with Johnny Maggs at 8 o'clock on the Pit Life Barbecue Facebook page. If barbecue is your thing, that's a good show. If sports is your thing, and that's a good show. And those guys will be talking about, you know what?
Yeah.
You know, the Dallas Cowboy coach got the boot today. So that you talk about a domino effect. All right. What's your team over there, Jeff? Football.
Well, my team's getting ready to start here in about 30 minutes. They're going to be playing the Vikings.
Oh,
I'm a big Rams fan.
Rams. Yeah. That's a lot of proximity to Burlington, North Carolina there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, my grandmother's originally from Missouri, and when I was younger, when the Rams were in St. Louis, my great aunt used to send me all kinds of Rams, blankets and T-shirts and coffee cups and all kinds of stuff. So I kind of got hooked on the Rams.
I was a huge Rams fan when I was in elementary school. Roman Gabriel, the Fearsome Foursome. Those, that was great. All right, here we go.
A long time ago.
I know. I've been around a long time, Pete. Here we go. There's Michael Williams checking in. He got that rack of ribs at Walmart, and he put that picture of that nice butcher barbecue. I thought that was a nice picture.
It is. Good
Michael,
picture.
that's a good picture. And there are those ribs cooked and cut already. So how about that? Those look good. Good color. This was the number one food posted on the internet this week. Snow cream. That's right. Snow cream. The best snow cream recipes were flying all over. Now, Jeff, here's our buddy Thomas Damon. He is from Germany.
This is in Germany. He
lives in Germany. And those are shrimp pops he made. Look at that cool grill.
That is cool. Kind of like a little teppanyaki grill in a way.
Yeah. That he's actually cooking on that grill right there. And that's pretty cool. Here is Steve Davidson. That's a half of a pork loin, and he's got that all rubbed up with Butcher Barbecue products, and he put that on his barrel, the barrel that Jason made for him.
Yep.
And he came out with that. That's good eating, folks. I tell you, if you've never done a pork loin, do yourself a favor, and you can, if you've got a gas grill, I kid you not, if you've got just a gas grill, or if you've got an oven, let's say you got an oven in your house, okay? Let's say you got an oven. You get a pork loin and cook it. It is my second favorite part of the pig after pork belly, pork loin. It's cheap. It tastes delicious. You can make sandwiches. You can eat off that thing for days. And what's left over, throw it in your Brunswick stew. It's great. You agree with me, don't you, Jeff? Say yes, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, because I make a.
You want to be on again? You want to be on the show again, Jeff? Say yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I make a chili apricot glaze to put on the pork loin. It's really good.
Ooh.
That's good.
Apricot glaze. This guy's good.
Yeah.
This guy's good.
Little spicy apricot.
He's talking. He's talking R. And to wind things down tonight, here's Brent Hilliard's. Now we know what that is, don't we?
Over the top.
Over the top chili. Yes, sir. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Pete, can you tell? Jeff, can you tell what that is?
What do you mean?
The meat.
It's hamburger meat. It's just a big wad of hamburger meat to sit there like a big hamburger.
You think so?
Yeah. That's what it is.
You don't think it's like a chuck roast or something?
No.
You don't think so?
No, that's big hamburger patty.
Okay.
And then they'll take it after it smokes for a while. They'll take it and put it in the vegetables and everything below and break it all up.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And there's the final product right there. That looks pretty good. I'm not a big corn fan in chili, but some people are.
What about beans? There's always a great debate about whether or not beans belong in chili or not.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I will tell you that some chili As a matter of fact, last year's contest, we had some chefs in there, several chefs that were our judges, and they actually judged by the amount of beans that you got in a spoonful when you picked a spoonful out. You remember that, Steve?
I do.
They said good chili, the way you judge it, you should have a bean or two at least in every spoonful that you get out.
That's called execution.
I remember
That's
that.
what they're judged on,
I mean-
execution and taste.
Yep.
I agree with it.
All right. Now we're going to be doing that. We'll be judging on their live, Jeff, on February the 1st, right here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue page. So if you want to tune in and you can watch everybody being judged live.
I might have to do that.
by the sports guys. Now these sports guys, I'm going to have to give them a lesson in judging. But these guys are they're all in their
Probably
high 20s,
early
high
30s.
20s, early 30s, and they are a hoot. These 5 guys are they're hilarious. And
That they like to eat. I'm telling you, they like to eat. So
are you kidding me?
they're looking forward to
When
it.
you're 30 years old, you like to eat.
I still like to eat. And I'm 40
We
now.
used to like to do a lot of other things too when we was 30, and we could do other things when we were 30. Okay, Brett Hill, you're right, Pete. Hamburger.
Yeah.
Hamburger. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. All right. So there you go. Not a lot of entries this week because of the snow. You know what I had Steve Davidson did. Yeah, they had Steve Davidson.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Jeff Dalton from Burlington, North Carolina, Holy Smokes Barbecue. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you guys. Thank y'all for having me. I enjoyed it a whole lot.
You bet, Jeff. We'll get you on again. And Jeff, keep posting pictures on there for us. We always like to see what everybody around the region is doing, not just us here in Chattanooga, but Thomas Damon from Germany has been one of the stars of the page. He posts some great pictures every week of interesting, and it's not just barbecue. It's any kind of food that you're making in any kind of method. We appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad to do it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again.
Jeff Dalton, Burlington, North Carolina, leaving us. What a nice fellow.
Yeah. Oh,
What
yeah.
a great guy.
Yep.
So are we going to be in the sausage business, Pete?
We're getting in it.
All right, we're getting in it. Okay.
We're getting in it. We're going to give it a whirl.
All right, cool. We have to go back and listen and get the websites and let the.
I got them
All right, all right.
I
good
got
deal. Okay.
right there.
All right, sounds like a winner. We will. Everybody, come see us. I know today was a weird day. No school here in Chattanooga.
I'm not sure why, but
Well, yeah, I know, but that it's better to err on the side of caution, and but things should be back to normal tomorrow, Tuesday. Everybody's going back to school. Everybody's going back to work.
I'm playing golf on Friday.
Yeah, you're playing golf on Friday. Supposed to be up to 50s. Might be a little messy, but that's okay. But we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done this week and get back on track. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Come see us at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply Store. Don't forget, if you need tires, service and repair, Steve Ray's Midnight Oil is the place in Ooltewah where you want to go. The best price, the best value, and the best service on your Michelin tires is at Owl's Nest. Is at Steve Ray's Midnight Oil, and the best barbecue supplies are at Owl's Nest
You
Barbecue
can have a
Supply
set
Store.
of tires put on, get an oil change, and buy all your barbecue needs while you're there.
And by golly, that's the only place in the world that you can do that. Until next time, we will see you.